All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Tanya, and I am an instructor for Comeback Yoga, which is a nonprofit organization serving veterans where they're at. I also work with their families and their support team. And today's sequence is a chair yoga sequence, an energizing chair yoga sequence. So if you have a chair, you'll need a chair. Could be, something that has a firm surface and firm legs. Of course, you don't want to have an unstable chair. And then if you have a belt or a tie or a yoga strap, you'll need that as well today. So I'll give you a minute to grab that. All right. So, just finding a comfortable position in your chair. Your feet should be resting on the floor, or on a firm surface. If they're not, then you're going to want to grab maybe a book or place your feet on a table or something so that your feet are firmly planted. We're going to start today with what's called an alternate nostril breath. This breath is intended to balance the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. You may or may not know what these systems are, but they're both necessary and beneficial for our daily functions. The nervous system basically is online when we need to move, but it's also sometimes online a lot of the times if we are in a state of fear and contraction, then that's online and that doesn't help us if it's always online. And then the parasympathetic nervous system is our rest and digest function. And so that helps us bring our body into homeostasis, pH, digestion, just all those things that help us be calm, help us sleep, lower cortisol levels, things like that. That we need both. We do need both, but sometimes one is stronger than the other. So the intention with this breath is to bring us to a little bit more balance in both of those systems. So if your sinuses are blocked for any reason, sometimes it's a physiological reason, maybe there's some damage to the sinuses or to the septum, then you can just imagine this breath as we will be breathing in one nostril, out the other, and then in that same nostril and out the other. And it will alternate like this. That's why it's called alternate nostril breath. And the traditional way of doing this is to place your thumb on one nostril and your ring finger on the other nostril. And when you're doing this, if that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can do just the fingers like this, the hands. Um, you can again just visualize with me the breath coming in through one side, out the other, and so on. So I'll guide us maybe about 2 minutes doing this. So just get tall, find a comfortable seat. You might even want to clear your sinuses real quick with a tissue or something, because sometimes it does also clear the sinuses, which is great. So if you want to follow me, you're going to take your ring finger on the left nostril. You'll breathe in through the right nostril. Close your right nostril and then breathe out through the left nostril. Inhale through the left. Close that nostril and exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. and exhale through the right. It's important that you stay relaxed in your body and your shoulders. Continue breathing in and then breathing out. You might notice that the breath is getting even a little longer, hopefully. So, breathing in and breathing out. Try to stay relaxed even in your jaw and your face as you breathe in and out. Continue breathing in. Notice that sensation as the breath's coming in through the nose, out through the nose. Soft and smooth. Hopefully, the breath is becoming, and the body a little bit more at ease. Another 2 rounds or so. And then on your last round, finish that round with the exhalation out through the right nostril. And then release your hands to your lap. And they can be facing up and just simply notice, just take a moment to sense any difference or just any particular sensation. There's no need to compare. Just notice if there's any places in your body where you might feel tingling, where you might feel energized, where you might feel calm. Just notice the general effects of that breath. Good. And then if your eyes are closed, you can go ahead and lift them. Excuse me. We'll start with a little joint warm up. So you're going to take one foot for one leg forward and just roll that ankle around, going one direction a few times and then the other direction. Snap, crackle, pop. And then bring that foot down. Take your other leg forward, rolling that ankle around. And sometimes even just visualizing the movement can be really beneficial. So if you're immobile in the joints for whatever reason, just imagine that rotation. All right, and then go ahead and bring that knee down. And grab, you might come forward a little bit more of the chair depending on how far back you were sitting. So you want to sit tall and you're going to grab your knee, one leg, and bring your knee into your chest and then straighten your leg. With your exhale, bring your knee into your chest and then inhale, straighten the leg. Let those arms go straight. Use the strength of your arms to move the leg. Certainly you can use the strength of your leg too. And sometimes if there's any stiffness in the joint, um, that might show up. But this is good for bringing some mobility and some blood flow into that joint. All right, and then place that foot down, and we'll go to the other side. I'm bringing it in and using your breath. So, one of the great benefits of our yoga practice is that we are focused on the breathing. So, we're moving. So, one movement is an inhale and one movement is an exhale. And that's the beauty. If we're holding a posture, then certainly the most of the attention then relies on the breath. All right. And then go ahead and lower that foot down. All right, bring your hands to your shoulders And we'll take the elbows up overhead with an inhale. And then on your exhale, bring the elbows forward, back. Inhaling, arms lift, elbows lift, I should say, and exhale down. So take your time with this. Really be mindful of the movement, just noticing any sensations coming up in the joint. We'll do one more this direction. Noticing if those shoulders are coming up towards the ears, not to force them down, but to be relaxed. And then take elbows the other direction and back and down. Stay present and steady in your feet. Mm. And maybe those sinuses are clear now and it's easier to breathe in through the nose. All right, good. And then lower the arms down to the sides of your chair. And we'll take now our chin down towards the chest. And hopefully, again, your feet are still planted on the floor. And you can push gently into those feet just to enliven the lower legs at the same time as we're bringing some tension to the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, and try not to round those shoulders forward. See if you can, as you're holding the sides of the chair or even the sides of your lap, that the spine stays tall. And then gently lift your head up, straight up. Nose is forward, chin is parallel to the floor here is what we're looking for. Whether you realize it or not, or whether you can see it or not, just think of that chin being parallel to the floor so that the back of the neck and the head is slightly lifted. All right, we'll take our ear to our shoulder and just keep holding about 1 to 5% effort in those hands. And inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, taking your other ear to the other shoulder. And depending on your arm length and the chair, you might be able to even hold on to a little bit on that chair as you lean a little bit away from the side. Mm. All right. And then gently come back up to center and take your head up, just slightly up overhead as you bring those shoulders slightly back. And then bring your head back to neutral. You're going to bring the arms up to shoulder height and then turn your palms forward. Stay stay pressing down into those feet. If you need to move a little bit here, do so. We'll take the arms up overhead on an inhale. Maybe look up at the hands if that's okay on the hands or the neck. Exhale and bring those arms down. Keep bringing them down as you bring your chin down towards your chest. Inhale, bring the arms up, look up. Maybe the fingertips touch. Exhale and bring those elbows down, chin down. We'll do this a couple more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach up and lower. How about one more? Good. And then keeping your arms kind of at your sides here with the palms facing out, you're going to turn one hand down and look in the opposite direction. And then bring that hand back forward, bringing your head back to center. And exhale, look to the other side as you bring your hand down. Come back to center. So a little bit of movement through the shoulders, elbows, and even the wrists. You can even kind of flex the wrist back behind you and then come back. So you're still sitting up nice and tall. Make sure that you're not rounding forward. You might even have a little bit of an arch in the spine, just slightly, but more neutral really than anything. Continue. We'll do one more time to one side, and I think that balances out for me. If you want to do one more, you can. Okay, and then bring your hands to your lap and just pause. Sometimes the upper body work can make us feel a little lightheaded. At least it does for me. So we want to ground that. So go ahead and press down into your feet. Really connect your feet to whatever surface you're resting on and really feel the lower legs energize, feeling the upper legs energize. All right, and then release that. All right, we're going to bring our hands together in front of our heart and we're going to move what's called robin's breath. This is kind of my go to. So, if you're used to doing my classes, we'll do this pretty consistently almost in every class, whether we're sitting or standing. All right, so inhale, bring the thumbs against the chest. And then exhale, send your arms forward as you round your spine. Oh, big stretch along your spine, upper back, middle back. Then inhale, open your arms wide. Take your heart and chest to the ceiling or the sky. Exhale, bring the arms forward, palms together. Inhale, bringing the hands to the heart. Let's keep this going. Exhale, arms forward. Navel lifts. Inhale, open the arms. The belly expands. Exhale, the belly contracts. Hands come forward. And inhale, hands come to the heart. Let's do this 2 more times together. Of course, you could go at your own pace if you like, but really bring in this day that you have as you move through your body. Connect your feet to the ground. Connect your bottom to the surface you're resting on and really connect your movements. See how big your breath can get, how big your movements can get without causing any discomfort. Stay in the zone. Sometimes we got to move a little bit out of comfort, though, right? As long as it doesn't cause long term injury or pain. All right. And then just pause again, just sensing how that breath, I like to ache in it to almost like a breath of joy, the robin's breath, appropriate for any time of day, really. All right. Bring your hands to your sides. And again, maybe either grabbing the chair or placing the hand on your lap. We'll take the opposite arm up overhead, reach it up as you press down into your feet, and then come to the side. Big side stretch. And inhale, come back up to center. And exhale, lower the arm down. Good. Inhale, big stretch, opening up the side waist, and exhale to the side. Noticing the ribs open. Let's do this 2 more times on each side. So, really connecting those feet to the ground. Reach the arm up as high as you can. Exhale, the navel draws in slightly towards the spine as you extend to the side. Good. And continue. Great thing to do any time of day, again, when you're needing maybe a little pick me up. And let's do one more time if you're with me. Of course, you can always stop if you feel like it's too much, right? So, a lot of this is really just about paying attention to our own bodies. And then go ahead and let those hands come onto the lap and pause. Doing great. All right. So we're going to come to the sort of the corner of our chair and maybe even, come to the very corner, but still where you're feeling rooted, where you can still have both sitting bones on the chair. And actually, here's a place where we're going to want to maybe use the strap or the belt or the tie, whatever it is that you have. And just kind of fold it in half. And you're going to place it on your outside foot, the foot that's closer to the screen. And we're going to hold onto the strap as close to the foot as possible, bringing our leg behind us. Hold on to the back of the chair or the front or the sides. Hopefully, your chair is stable enough that being on the front isn't going to make your chair tip over If it is, then you're gonna have to scoot back, obviously. All right. So just either let the leg hang. Now, if it's too much strain on the wrists, then you can just have the knee down like so. And that's just as acceptable. So props are not necessarily needed. All right. And then take our front arm, bring it up overhead, and then take a side bend towards the back of your chair. And inhale, reach back up. And then exhale, turn towards the back of your chair now for a twist. You can grab the sides of your chair. And then reach both arms back up. Inhale. And then exhale, lower your hands down and bring that leg forward. So I'll do the next round without a strap again. So um, just, depends on a lot of things, how flexible or open the hips are. So just pause here. You can walk your feet a little bit wider and maybe bring the elbows down onto the thighs. If it's available, you can bring your hands to your shins and maybe even fingertips to the floor, or if you want to find a um, something to place those hands on, it could be another chair. And then let the head go. And then bring yourself back up. Okay, let's go on to the other side. And coming to that corner. And again, this really depends on the height of your chair and the length of your leg, but we'll bring that leg behind us. You can have the knee resting on the floor or on a prop, or just place the foot um, somewhere that's where you start to feel a little sensation here in the front of the hip. And just check and see if it's okay, if that sensation's okay. You're pushing down into your front foot to give you stability in the hips here. And then take your outside arm and bring it up in front, and then take a side bend towards the back of your chair. And then inhale, reach that arm up. On your exhale, turn towards the back of your chair, grabbing the sides. And inhale, both arms lift. And exhale, place your hand down to your lap and bring that leg forward. Maybe scooch back a little bit on the chair so you feel stable. And taking the legs kind of wide, you can have the hands on the lap here or bring your elbows down. Or again, maybe the fingers can reach the floor. And just let your head go here. A lot of times we have a lot of strain in our neck unnecessarily. So just let the head go. And then walking yourself back up. Good. Pause for just a moment, sensing the breath. All right. And then coming back to the front edge of your chair, we'll take one ankle over the other ankle. You could also straighten the leg and maybe bring your foot up a little higher to the shin, or if it's available, maybe even bringing the ankle onto the knee. And just sensing where there is any discomfort, um, and ask yourself, will this cause me suffering later, long term? So it's okay to be uncomfortable and push a little bit into and past our limits as long as we're not causing tissue issues to the tissues, as my teacher would say. So if it's okay, then maybe come forward a little bit. Nice stretch for the hip. And inhale, bring yourself back up. Good. Take that same knee, bring it into your chest, and maybe hold the front of the shin. And then place the foot down. But we're going to interlace the hands behind the hamstring here and straighten the leg back to our starter position and then bring the knee in. Straighten your leg, flex the foot this time. So get some ankle mobility going at the same time. Good. So point or flexing as you straighten the leg and then pointing as you bring the knee in. Let's do that 2 more times. Good. And then lower down. Okay. Second side. So ankle to ankle, shin, or to knee. So just breathing, finding places that are tight that might need the breath, that might need some attention. And then see if you can allow that tension to dissolve. It's important to recognize anything that does arise and what is revealed in our bodies, and then learn to acknowledge it. And then if there's anything that we need to take action on, then we can. Otherwise, we let it dissolve. Sometimes easier said than done, right? All right, come back and grab behind your leg. You can grab the front of the shin initially here, but sit up nice and tall. Good. And then straighten your leg, flex the foot, sit up tall, and point your foot, knee to chest. We'll do that a few more times. Connecting the breath with your movements. Good. All right, and then lower it down. And pause. Just take a few more moments. All right, and then we'll come back to our lunge sequence. Sometimes it feels good to repeat at least 2 times what we're doing. That way, our body starts to build an impression of the pose, and then we start to learn how the pose feels in our body and how we can overcome maybe some resistance that's occurring. So let's go to the side of the chair to a comfortable corner. And then that knee comes to the floor or behind you. So adjusting where you need. You could also have your heel lifted. You could also grab the foot just for a momentary quad stretch. You can also use your belt or tie. And then we'll place that foot back down to the floor for stability. So we're looking for stability now here. So engage through both feet. Take your outside arm up overhead, reach up, maybe even look up at the ceiling, and then lower the arm down to your side. We'll do that 2 more times. I know we didn't do this the first time, but we're just adding on a little variation here. One more time. Inhale, bring the arm up, and exhale, lower the arm down. All right. So bring your arm up and then take a side bend as you engage both feet into the floor. And you can keep your hand on your lap, or you can grab or have it on the chair for stability, drawing the navel down, up and in, I mean. And then inhale, reach the arm up. Exhale, take a twist to the back of the chair, or you could even bring your elbow on the knee as a variation. Maybe forearm or tricep, excuse me, on the knee, if that feels okay. You can try, see how it feels. All right, inhale, bring both arms up, reach up, maybe look up for this lunge variation, and then lower your hands down. Good. And then we'll come to the corner of the chair, feeling stability, bringing your hands onto your lap or the elbows onto the knees. And again, maybe even ability to touch the floor. Just let the head go if it's okay for your head. Sometimes if we've had any head injuries, having our head below the heart can be not such a good feeling. So if you need to keep your head up high, do so, but just try to keep the chin kind of in a neutral position then. And then using the hands onto the lap, bring yourself back up. Excellent. Okay. Let's go to the other side. So, walking that foot behind you. And you might find if you're warmer now, you could even bring the leg even straighter. It really depends on a lot of different factors. Your flexibility, certainly, mobility, certainly, but also your torso, leg, chair ratios. Okay. All right. If you want that quad stretch, you can grab the foot really quick if that's available. Otherwise, just meet yourself where you're at. And then if you lifted it, go ahead and lower it back down. And here we go. Outside arm, bring it up, inhale, and exhale, lower your arm down. 2 more times. Inhale, reach up, look up for more energizing efforts, and arm down. One more time. Inhale, look up, and exhale, coming down. Now reaching the arm back up, we'll take our side bend towards the back of the chair, using the opposite hand for stability, and recognize your feet and press into your feet. So this is where we get that stability even in our mobility. Great. Inhale, come back up, and then either exhaling, grabbing the back of the chair, or bringing your elbow down to your knee. You could even bring your palms together into a prayer position. And you might even find you could straighten that back leg a little bit more. Good. And then inhale, rise back up, and exhale, lower the arm down. Whew, hopefully that's feeling good. All right. Coming to the corner for our fold. Elbows to the knees or to the floor, whatever. Oh, you probably can't get the elbows to the floor, the fingertips to the floor. I don't know. Depends on your chair height and your body type, and of course your flexibility. All right. So just take a couple breaths here. And then bring your hands for support onto your lap and come back up. Come back, yoga. Come back up. All right. And go ahead and come to the center. So we have a cross-legged position that we're going to do now. So if you've had any hip surgery, sometimes it's a indicated for a hip replacement. So hopefully, if you know that, then don't do this. But you'll cross the knee, And then you can walk the other foot across. You could also straighten your bottom leg and have your knee across. And then the next level would be to walk your foot back in and then see about walking that foot forward and maybe wrapping the lower legs. So that's just a variation called eagle pose. And then we'll add the arms, bringing the arms out wide. Inhale. And then taking your left elbow under, you can grab the opposite shoulders or bring the back of the hands together. And maybe even bringing the palms together. But it really depends on how bulky your shoulders are. Um, I have strong shoulders, but they're not really muscular. So if you're really muscular shoulders, it'll be more difficult to bring the hands together. All right, good. And then inhale, open your arms nice and wide, unwind your legs, bring your arms up overhead, clasp your hands, send the palms to the ceiling, and release the arms down, hands to the lap. Very good. Okay, other side. So choosing your position, knee coming across, leg straight, leg bent, whatever. But um, if you have the legs crossed and right at the knees, and you want to take your legs, kind of separate the lower legs, that's a variation. You can do that for a moment or two just to see how that impacts the hips. Maybe even the thigh. You might feel it there. And then we'll bring that leg back to center. And if it's available, wrapping the lower legs. I'm not going to do that. You could also have your foot to the floor, your top foot to the floor for stability, and then really anchor your bottom foot down. So, really feel that connection, that earthly connection. Take your arms out wide. Inhale. And then exhale, take your right arm under and hands to the shoulders. Again, choosing the position for your hands or your forearms, whatever is available to you today. And just breathe, sensing your breath. The breath is something that's happening to you all the time and happens without us even having to think about it. So just be with it. Breath is an important component in demonstrating how we're experiencing life. Go ahead and release that. Open the arms, release the legs, send the arms up, change the clasp of the hands, and then straighten those arms up. And then lower your arms down. And then pause. Just take a moment, sensing how that felt. So now I invite you to sit far back enough in your chair that you could be comfortable, but not so that you're slouching. I want to have your spine tall, strong back, soft front, feet planted. I'll guide you now through a body scan. So, hopefully, your feet are connected to the surface firmly. And without moving those feet or toes, just sense your feet. Your eyes can be closed or open. And sense the sole of your feet, the bottom of your feet. Sense the tops of your feet. Sense your toes, your big toe, the second toe, the middle toe, the fourth toe, and the little toes. Sense your ankles, left and right, right and left. Sensing your lower legs, your calves, your shins, and the right and left, and then the left and right. Anchor your feet down to the earth. Sense your knees, left knee, right knee, left knee, and both knees. Sensing the upper legs and the surface they're resting on. Left, right, right, and left, and then both together. And then sensing your bottom is resting on the surface. And sensing your torso, the lower belly, the lower ribs, the side ribs, front ribs, back ribs, the upper ribs. And sense your body breathe, sensing the width of your body, sensing the spaciousness in your body, and then sensing the length and the height of your body. And now sense, and bring your attention to your shoulders, sensing them both simultaneously, and then the left shoulder, the right shoulder, the right shoulder, and then the left shoulder, and then both shoulders together. Feel your torso breathe. Feel your whole body breathe. And feel your body coming into a progressive state of ease and comfort. Sensing the upper arms, the elbows, the wrists, the thumbs, the first finger, the middle finger, the fourth finger, and the last finger. Sensing the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands. Sensing the left arm from the fingertips to the shoulder, and then the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. Sensing the right fingertips to the right shoulder, and the left shoulder to the left fingertips. And sensing both hands, both arms, shoulders, and sense your breath. Strong back, soft front. And now sensing the sides of your neck, and the breath flowing in the throat, into the chest, the heart. Sensing the jaw, and space between the upper and lower jaw, sensing the inside of the mouth. And just by noticing, just simply noticing these areas, how the body, a progressive state of ease. And then sensing your nose and the air coming in through the nose as it's warmed, filtered, travels into the throat and fills the spacious cavity of your torso. And then sensing your face, your eyes, your left eye, your right eye, and both eyes together. And sensing the forehead, areas around the eyes and the forehead, and the hairline, and the top of your head, and the sides and back of your head. Sensing your left ear, your right ear, your right ear, and your left ear. Sensing both ears at the same time. Notice your breath. Notice your body breathe. Now bring your attention to the bottoms of your feet. Feel the surface beneath you. Feel that connection of that surface. And then bring your attention all the way up from there, all the way, scanning the body all the way up. The legs, the hips, the torso, arms, neck, and head. And then sense your body all the way back down to your feet. And traveling with your breath like a wave up to the top of your head and then down to your feet. Feeling the body breathe from the bottoms of the feet to the top of the head with spacious awareness, internal, spacious awareness of breath, spacious awareness of the heart, spacious awareness of the internal organs and the breath, the spacious awareness. Natural rhythm returns to the breath. And now just begin to sense any textures around, textures of your clothing, the surface beneath you, sounds coming into the ears, not just of my voice, but anything in the room or outside of the room that you might be um, audible to. And if your eyes are closed, notice any light streaming through the eyes. If your eyes are open, sensing and picking out a texture or a color in your surroundings, the quality of the light. And then, is there anything else you might notice about this very moment. And letting those eyelids lift. That completes our energizing and grounding yoga sequence from the chair today. So thank you so much for joining me today. So grateful to have been able to guide your practice today. Please join our comeback yoga um, studio, or not studio, but our YouTube channel. Subscribe, and please consider donating at the link listed below so that we can continue offering classes just like this for people just like you. Have a blessed day, and until next time, be well.